Okay. So, welcome everyone in the virtual dreaming, download virtual dreaming session 2. And today we have two guests, Jasmine and Daniel Peter. So, let me start with the introduction. So, Jasmine, can you tell me about yourself and your company?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. My name is Jasmine Hockey. I manage global events at Copado. I'm actually pretty new to the organization. I've only been there about 6 weeks. I previously was with Salesforce for 6 years and Splunk for 1 year. So have been doing events, gosh, over 20 years now. But now it feels like a whole new world with this world of virtual programs. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
And thank you so much to sponsor virtual dreaming, and we are really glad like you come up, you are the very first sponsor for the virtual dreaming, so we are glad to be on board you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hi Daniel. So
Hi.
can you tell me about little bit about yourself?
Sure. Excited to have Jasmine here. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Copado lately, so thanks for sponsoring, and it's awesome to be on the same call as you. So yeah, Daniel Peter, maybe some of you know me already. I've been in the ecosystem over 10 years now. Salesforce MVP, run the Bay Area developer group. Really love traveling the world and going to all these community conferences. Really love the Salesforce ecosystem, learning all the cool new technical things about building on the Salesforce platform. And my day job is I'm Salesforce practice lead at Robots and Pencils.
And how's your health, Daniel? Now I know you recently go through with surgery, so I hope all is well now.
Yeah, so I didn't mention too much publicly about this, but I was going through some issues with my back for a good part of last year. That's why I wasn't able to make Trailhead DX last year. I was able to make Dreamforce, but I did 8-hour days instead of 24-hour days. I took it easy. But yeah, I had a back surgery end of January. It was pretty serious, but I've made a full recovery now, and I'm actually feeling better than I have in years, and look forward to sort of in parallel healing and strengthening while everybody is kind of, we're waiting for this virus to blow over. So in that regard, the timing kind of works out.
Yep. But we are glad like now your health is recovering and you are feeling better. So
Thank
I
you.
hope our rockstar will be come back soon in the full power.
Yes, me too.
So I have a question for everyone. Like it's an open discussion. So what you are thinking about COVID-19 and how you are handling this? Now we know like lots of stuff going on. People are working from home. So how you guys are handling that?
Sorry, Dan. You want to take that first?
Open discussion means Jasmine and I, are we taking questions from the attendees also? Or
for both of you?
For us. Yeah, go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay, cool. So how am I handling COVID-19? So for me, I work from home every day anyway, so my normal routine didn't change too much because I was used to sort of this work from home model. What I have noticed is that, people who thought they couldn't do their jobs from home, or a lot of people who were resistant to it, are now more comfortable with it. So it feels like, oh, okay, this is really, it's something that we could do moving forward. I think that organizations, especially, I live in DC, so a lot of federal agencies are really resistant to working from home. But I think that we've sort of proven that it's possible. So it's interesting being in that, in this city and the work from home nuances that come with it.
Yeah, so I have a similar situation where I'm used to working from home. I think I've heard people describe it as like a different type of working from home now. So, there's a lot more weight on your shoulders hearing the news about what's going on in the world every day. So it's a little harder to focus than normal. I think one of the more difficult things is even though we work from home, at least me personally, we were used to going and visiting our clients. So it's very valuable to actually make the effort to get in a plane and go see your clients, spend time with them at their headquarters, and build that trust and that relationship So we're having to try to figure out how to do that virtually now. So I think that's one of the difficulties. Even though we're a distributed team that kind of gets the work done from home, how do you build the relationships from home and kind of those nuances that don't come across on phone calls? How do you substitute for that? So I think that's the biggest difficulty. And then obviously on the side, like how do you have fun? How do you help people? I think we're very fortunate from a financial standpoint. Where when you hear about a lot of unemployment, I feel like a lot of us may be the last ones to be affected by that. So that's something to be grateful for. But I think there's still a little worry there. We're seeing some clients are a little more reluctant to invest in the technology that we're in charge of implementing for them. So hopefully things will be a little bit worrisome, and then they will blow over, and we'll have good times again. But we're not exactly sure what that timing is going to look like.
Yeah, I agree, Daniel. I one of the things that we've tried to do is make sure that we turn on our cameras so we feel a little bit more connected instead of just being on conference calls. So that's one thing that internally we've done, and that helps, But I agree with you, Daniel. There's no substitute for sort of being in the same room with somebody and meeting them in person. But we're making do with what we've got.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amit.
Yep. And I hope we will have the vaccine soon and we will be back to our normal lives very soon.
Yeah, I think there's a definitely opportunity here. I think you can look at this as a, kind of a glass is half full situation. It might be hard to do sometimes, but really there's a lot of companies that had never invested in technology before, and now they have to. So for those companies, they need partners like us, people who understand technology to help them digitally transform their business into something that maybe they hadn't even thought of doing before. So it's taking some piece of their core skill set and kind of repackaging that and sending that out to the world in a new way that's doesn't involve the pandemic risk of how they were doing business now. I think also it's a good time not only for those opportunities, but also for the investing in yourself opportunities. So if you do have any downtime, if you're seeing that your work is a little less busy, perfect time if you can, keep your mental health in the right state to be able to focus. Go ahead and learn these new subjects. Maybe even they're a little bit tangential to your day job. Learn something new, and use this as an opportunity to kind of regroup and retool. So when folks are a little bit more interested in investing, and there's a lot more, the GDP is back up and all this kind of thing, you'll be well positioned to do all these really cool new things.
That's so true, Daniel. I actually just started my Salesforce admin on Trailhead recently. So I've been spending a lot of time on Trailhead and trying to learn some new skills. So that's a great point.
Nice.
Yeah, even we can spend lots of time when we are at home on our education, and especially with our family. While working, we used to spend lots of time while traveling outside, but now it's a good opportunity to spend some time with the family.
Absolutely.
So I have another question. So virtual dreaming is just 3 weeks away. So what is your expectation and what you are looking for the virtual dreaming?
So I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to hearing from Kavindra Patel, who is one of your keynote speakers. I used to work with him. He's such a lovely, lovely gentleman. And I actually am specifically interested to hear sort of how COVID has just taken a beating on my industry and events, and how Salesforce has pivoted to do virtual events, and kind of what's coming down the pike. What is Trailhead going to look like? I'm sorry, TDX going to look like? How is that experience going to be reimagined as a virtual? So I'm really looking forward to hearing from him, and then Leah as well. She's just such an incredible speaker. I think you have a fabulous lineup, so I'm excited to hear from them.
Yeah, these are exactly the people that we need to hear from in these times. They're very inspirational. I think they'll really really improve the spirits of all the attendees. I've known both of them for 10 plus years, and they never disappoint. And I think this time will be even more so than ever. So great job getting those guests. I'm very curious to see. I mean, I think we're still trying to define what a virtual event can be. So I'm very curious to see, well, what is a virtual community event? I think we know what the bar is. Like, these community events are amazing. Like, some of the best experiences of my life have been going to these community events. And so much a part of that is the physical transplantation of yourself to another, culture, another geography. We don't quite have that, but maybe we can bring some of that in somehow. So I'm just curious to see what are the tips and tricks of how, it's not just throw up Zoom and have a free for all. You really have to think about this thing. Like, what's that core benefit that you get from going to a conference, and how do you recreate that? How do you bump into people and have the serendipity? How do you meet people that you never even expected to meet? And these things are so important when we talk about, things like the financial aspect of keeping your business continuity. You need conferences to keep those connections going. That's people don't talk about it a lot, but that's where a lot of these deals are actually done, is like people talking with each other behind the scenes. So how do we bring this networking aspect? How do we keep this alive in this kind of quarantine world we're in?
I agree 100%, Daniel. One of the things that Salesforce does so well is they recognize the value of events, and how that that sort of camaraderie of the community really is so meaningful. So it's a whole new job for me personally, trying to figure out how to do virtual programs. So I'm really excited to hear from both of them.
And I hope we will not disappoint everyone.
I think everybody's going to be watching this conference. Virtual Dreamin was a trailblazer in the virtual conference world. They announced before we even knew about the pandemic. So all eyes will be on them to reimagine what a virtual conference can be.
Yep. So I remember we announced this virtual dreaming in last year, almost at the time of Trailers DX. That time the pandemic was not there. We reimagine ourselves like how we can do it for those people who cannot travel, especially who are not living in a big city, or they are not able to travel just because of money and financial problem. So that kind of idea come in our mind. So we decided, let's do some virtual conference where the people who never get a chance to attend the big dreaming event, big Salesforce conference event, so that they can also join from the home. So that was the idea behind it. But now this time the situation is totally different. COVID-19 come up, but trust me, we imagined this long time back.
Daniel's showing off with his backgrounds.
So I'm in the Bay Area here. This footage is about 10 miles from me. So
it's incredible.
So I'm trying to feel like I'm not stuck in my house here.
So this is the power of the virtual, right? So now we are in the virtual dreaming. So I want to take some suggestion and some feedback from both of you. What do you think, what we should do and how we can make this even much better?
I think one important element is going to be how interactive it is. Just the ability to sort of engage with what you're doing, the ability to ask questions or talk to the speakers or in some way engage with the audience. And that's one of the challenges that I'm facing too, Amit, with, doing our virtual programs. It's like, how can we make it fun, more engaging, more exciting, shinier, more, just in general, something that people are really fired up about. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys execute on that.
Yeah, I think sessions are important, but they're not the only thing. So for some people, it depends where you're at, kind of in the life cycle of your Salesforce journey. But I feel when you're earlier in that journey, the sessions are pretty high value for you because this is where you learn the things that aren't in the documentation. So I think sessions are a core important piece, but I think for many people that have been in the ecosystem, the real value is not so much in the sessions, but it's more in the connections. And I think one of the common things you see happening is you'll interact with people virtually for some time, maybe on Twitter or Success Community, and you go to a conference and then you actually put a name to a face, or that you do the handshake. I know you probably cringe when you hear that now, but so we're already used to a lot of the people virtually. How do we sort of make a deeper connection through a virtual conference? And I don't know if that's could just be as simple as trying to put some really good profiles in the attendees, have them put some photos or some text there, but somehow make a substitute for bridging that gap from a purely virtual acquaintance into somebody that you've kind of met, so.
Yep, that makes sense. And one more thing I got to learn, that is the background. Virtual background, everyone need that.
Yeah.
I'm having backdrop envy right now.
Yeah. So your point is noted, and virtual experience, how you are saying, networking and all, that is the key area, and your point is noted. I hope you will see some announcement from our side very soon.
Or keep us on our toes.
Yep. So now we have some announcement. We did a partnership with the Trailhead team, and Trailhead team is also coming in a virtual dreaming, and they are going to do couple of sessions with us, and awesome. You will receive them in action.
That's fantastic. That's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And how they are coming up, definitely there will be 4 sessions, and there are 2 hidden gems are there that we will announce very soon from the Trailhead team. So next announcement is today. We also did our partnership with the Epic Chains team, and Epic Chains team is going to do the demo jam with all of the sponsors and our selected sponsor, I will say, and they are going to run this, and we are also done our partnership with them. So that is our second announcement for today. And we are also, everyone also know, Virtual Dreaming also did a partnership with the Mercy Corp to raise the fund for the COVID-19, and we are planning to raise almost $50,000 for the COVID-19, and we are going to donate over there. We already got our 1 sponsors for that, Form Assembly. They are donating into that. We will expect who all can donate in this particular fund. I will ask everyone, go ahead and donate in that, and we are going to give this money to the Mercy Corp, and they are give this money to the COVID-19 release fund. So with that, so first of all, what do you think about this step? We are collecting the fund for the COVID-19.
I love that. I love that you're adding a giving back piece to the program. I think that's very par for the Salesforce ecosystem. So I think it's really nice that you're doing that.
Yeah, I think us that are fortunate enough to still have jobs are looking for ways to give back. And when you're not traveling, I mean, actually, a lot of our expenses are lower right now, so the timing's not bad for a lot of the folks that are grateful and blessed enough to still be employed. So, you hear things like people still paying their hairdressers even if they're not getting their haircut and stuff like that. So I think some of the money we spent on going to traveling to physical conferences and things like that, we can put towards this, and it'll add another dimension to the conference that'll make us feel a lot better about being a part of it.
So definitely, as this is a free event and there's no charge for it, but if anybody who can afford and who want to donate, I will request everyone to go ahead in this fund and donate something, and that will go to the Mercy Corp. And definitely no event can become successful without sponsors, and we are glad that we have all the sponsor who is sponsoring us, and thank you so much, Copado and Jasmine, to become our diamond sponsor. And we have a 4 platinum sponsor: On Backup, MetaJoa, Titan, SN Cloud, and we have a gold sponsor as well. That's Flow Republic and PDF Butler. And silver is SN Cloud, Flowsum, and Prover. So thank you everyone to sponsor this event, and thank you everyone.